I'm Gustav Halling and I'm a gameplay designer on Battlefield 3. I know some of you have found it a challenge how to control the aerial vehicles. Here's some tricks how to rule the sky. The VTOL fighter jet gives you the speed of an airplane but the hovering capabilities of a helicopter. You can now take off and land vertically. Hovering is a risky move that makes you an easy target. But it can also pay off big time since it gives you the chance to fight off infantry around the flag while capturing it at the same time. An easier way to level up in your airplane is to start by shooting ground targets before shooting down air targets. I often see players not using the Afterburner when I'm playing online, and they're really missing out on really good tactics. You should use the Afterburner when you take off and when you want to get away from enemies, like helicopters. If it is an airplane that is targeting you, you should not use the Afterburner since it will increase your turn radius. It's also good for putting some distance between yourself and your next intended ground target, so you have time to do a turn and line up your sights properly for your bomb run or strafing run. You need to work with your plane's turning capabilities to make sharper turns. By pressing and holding brake, you can either turn away from an enemy locking onto you, or turn sharply onto an enemy to lock onto it. But remember not to hold the brake button too long since it will decrease your speed and making you a sitting duck for enemy air vehicles. A more advanced way to brake is by tapping the brake button instead of holding it. This will make you turn sharper without losing as much speed. When you start to feel that the plane isn't responding to your steering, it's time to speed up again. Using flares at the right time is essential for keeping your plane alive. Something I often see is that players pop flares immediately when they are being locked on by an enemy pilot or SAMP infantry. Instead, wait for the lock text on your HUD to stop blinking before popping flares. Otherwise you will lose your only defense against heat-seeking missiles. Be warned that if you fly too close to a friendly air vehicle, the missile might change targets. It won't get you any favors with your team, but it might save your life. Air radar is a very effective system when unlocked, since it will show you the position of all close air vehicles. This means that you can follow enemy airplanes' twists and turns without seeing it on your screen. This will make it easier to avoid planes sneaking up behind you and locking onto you. Flying a helicopter means being close to the ground, taking out infantry and vehicles. This means you will get heat seekers locking onto you more often than you have flares to pop. You have to be able to loose lock and maneuver away from missiles often, and this is done by fast maneuvering between buildings and blocking line of sight with the attacker. Rockets are very effective when used the right way against enemy armor. Leave the infantry for a gunner. The best way to take out an enemy tank is to advance towards it from the back for maximum damage and aiming using the L crosshair instead of the static one. The L sight in an attack helicopter tries to show you where your rockets will hit, which, depending on your angle and speed, isn't necessarily where the static center one is. Make sure to never fly straight after you made your attack, since a tank will easily take you out when you pass it. If you get enough helicopter time, you will unlock the TV missile. If used correctly, this is the gunner's best friend. When the missile is fired, you can control it using your look controls. Try to make small, slow movements to not steer the missile off target.